Welcome back to another episode of Uncommonwealth, the show where we dive into the mindsets, moves, and mechanics behind building generational wealth. On today's episode of Uncommonwealth, we have Dr. Manoah McClendon, founder and CEO of Trade Secrets Academy, a platform dedicated to teaching individuals how to create wealth through entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and strategic investing. With a background as a speaker, coach, consultant, Dr. McClendon blends real-world business experience with a passion for helping others unlock their true potential. He's guided countless entrepreneurs in building sustainable income streams, scaling businesses, and protecting their financial futures. His approach integrates faith, strategy, and execution, inspiring people not just to achieve financial success, but to build a lasting legacy, and that is uncommon wealth. And I've known Manoah for a long time. Manoah, let's start from the beginning. Can you share a little bit of your backstory and how did this business come to life and what did those early years look like for you?
Oh man, where do we start? Man, well, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, really originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up, I tell the story everywhere I go. I grew up in one of the roughest projects in Atlanta. Um, my parents literally worked their bones to get us out of that situation. I grew up seeing my dad start his landscaping business, taking it from a lawnmower business to a major company. So I grew up in a house of entrepreneurs. And I seen my mom and my dad grind and build that business. And they always instilled in me to own my own business at a young age. At that time, I didn't have the resources to do that. So I joined the military and I was a special agent in the Army for about 7 years. Uh, did a lot of things, enjoyed it. Big shout out to all the veterans that are watching this. Had a lot of fun in the military. And I got to the point where in the military, you reach a certain year and you decide if I'm going to stay in or I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
Right. So I was at that point. Now it's like, I've done all the things that I wanted to do. Um, and at that time, I worked shifts. So we worked 24-hour shifts. So I didn't have a family at that time. So I wanted to start building a family as well. And I knew it was hard to do that, working those shifts and traveling a lot. So I got out, took a leap of faith and got out, thought I was going to go work for the FBI and be a top secret agent and things like that. But it didn't happen that way. So I got out and I saw how competitive the marketplace is. And I think that was around the time I met you.
Yeah.
And I was looking for jobs, and I thought I was getting out and I was gonna find a list of jobs. And it was very, very difficult at that time. I would put on suits, go to different places, and they would deny me, say I was overqualified or underqualified, and it was really tough. And at that time when I met you, you gave me a shot. I remember that. I remember that, and I still remember that to this day. I couldn't find a job, but I drove out to the Woodland and from Houston every day. And I wasn't qualified to do what you were doing, but you still gave me a job. And I appreciate that, man, to this day. And but going in that environment and seeing you guys, y'all on 10 every day, like the boiler room, and I was like, man, I want to be like John. Literally, I was like, I want to be like John, you know, and had a beautiful wife, faith, y'all, faith based, just family. And I saw that and I saw the success, man. And I was like, man, you really helped my path, right? At that time. So after that, and I'm big on this when I tell people this God orders our path, man. God orders our steps, right? And at that time, I was uh, living in Houston, still struggling, trying to make it. And I got my income tax one time, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm just going to go to Vegas. That's kind of weird to say when you get your income tax, I'm going to spend it all and go to Vegas. So I did. I got on the plane to go to Vegas. I said, I'm just going to go and not worry about everything when I get back because I've never been to Vegas before. So on that plane, I met a gentleman that was sitting behind me, and he owned one of the second largest real estate companies in Houston. And God gave me favored with him, and we started talking, and he was like, "You going to Vegas by yourself?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Hey, man, why don't you hang out with me?" And I'm like, "Okay, you know." So we hung out, man. And he's a successful man, and we did a lot of fun things in Vegas. He paid for everything, and he was like, "Hey, man, when you get back to Houston, come by my house." I was like, "Yeah, he's just talking, this vacation talk." So when I got back to Houston, I never reached out to him. He called me and was like, "Hey, man, I thought I told you to come by my house. I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay, cool, great." So I went to his house, and huge house. And at this time, man, I didn't have anything, so it was big to me, and I met him, and just to make a long story short, we became really good friends, and I wind up learning real estate and how to invest. And I eventually started my own business. And that's how I made my first million investing in real estate here in Houston. And I was in my 20s. So God took me from that to that. We built a lot of buildings down in the River Oaks, places in high rises. I think I built over 50 down there off West Dallas. That was super, super fun. I got into investing, then I got into developing. But then the market crashed, and this is where the story goes left for all the entrepreneurs out there, right? One day you could be
So
here.
this is 2008, 2009 now, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So one day, you can be here, and the next day you can be here if you don't
Mhm.
properly allocate your funds, right? So at that time, I had money, but I never thought about saving money and investing in money and doing things, life insurance. Nobody thinks about things like that when you're at that age. And notice I became homeless. I went from here. They repoed the house. They repoed the cars. Well, they foreclosed on the house, repoed the cars. They took everything. I think they took the dog.
Can laugh about it today, but at the time, it's not funny at the time.
It's not funny, man. It's the most horrible thing that can happen because once you've been exposed to something and it's taken away from you, it's even worse.
Mhm.
So I wind up. I think the only thing I paid for or I paid off was my Mustang, my college Ford
Mhm.
Mustang, and
Mhm.
I wind up living in my Mustang for 2 months. I went from there to there on Westheimer, sleeping in my car because I didn't want to go back to Atlanta because everybody thought I was the one that made it.
Yeah.
Everybody believed in you and trusted in you. And then in that car, I read the Bible because I'm a believer. So I read the Bible and I learned that God talks more about wealth and finances than he talks about anything else. Didn't know that this was going to be a part of my mission in life and journey. And my pastor at that time said, "Hey, come live with me, man. Get off the street. Come live with me." And I went through that process because he stayed in one of the worstest parts of Houston. But in his home, I learned a lot about faith. I learned about love. I learned about how you can have little and still make it. I got my compassion for people and to help people and to don't I didn't want to see people go down the path that I went or go through the things that I went, and how can I help and stop them? So that's where I got that compassion from to do what I'm doing today. And I started, got into trading, which is now what I'm doing now. I could never get licensed because people were always, it's the process to go through that to get your Series 7. But I learned that you can do things outside of that. And I self-taught myself to learn and trade the biggest financial market in the world, which was the forex market. And I've been doing that for the last 13 years. I started an academy because I wanted to teach people the skills that I learned so that they can earn an extra income outside of their work, or if they wanted to do it full time.
And that was
Uh,
Tradenology at the time. Is that what that was?
at that time, it was Tradenology.
Right.
Yep, Tradenology, and
Mhm.
that started as an academy, and then I branched into network marketing, and we literally took that company from 0 to almost 4 or 5,000 students around the world in 50
Mm.
countries,
Wow.
right? Right, and,
Hmm.
I was super excited, man, the money was coming in, I'm looking good, driving good, living good, and then boom, the SEC and regulations changed where you couldn't do that anymore, so we
Right.
transitioned back into an academy,
Okay.
and we're growing. And now, what I'm excited about, which is the new implementation of AI, which is what we're launching now. It's a AI, which is the crown of my creation, brother. The AI trading system, where it's going to teach the average person around the world and give them the predictable stocks and things to buy, and it's never been done before. And we're almost done trying to race it to the market because everybody's going to be doing it, and I want my
Yeah.
product one of the first ones out there.
Well, man, you've been through quite the journey, and the entrepreneur journey never stops, right? It's a series of peaks and valleys and left turns and right turns, as you said. When did you realize, Manoah, that you're building more than just businesses, that you're really building lasting wealth and legacy for your family?
I realized that in Tradenology when I saw the lives that I was changing, and the ability to be able to help people. I realized that then, and how I can utilize this platform not just to help me and my family, but to be able to help families all around the world. Because I truly believe if you can help somebody get what they want, I can automatically get what I want. Right. So I realized when I was building that company that I needed to build something to sustain something for my son. Because once you have kids, that's when you really realize it, because when you're single, it's all about me, but once you have a family and you have kids, you realize, I need to leave a legacy for them because I don't want them to go do the things that I went through, and if they do, I want them to have an option, something else to be able to take on, that I didn't have. So, yeah, I really realized that when I really had children that I needed to be able to provide for
And
them
what's one belief about wealth or success that's completely changed for you over the years, starting where you started from Atlanta, coming through what you went through? I mean, you've touched the mountaintops and you've touched the valleys. So what's one belief about wealth or success that's changed?
I just believe it's not a straight shot. Like you said, it's peaks and valleys, turns, dead ends. I just believe that a lot of times when we first start, when we have a vision, we just think it's just going to automatically happen. There's not going to be any setbacks. I believe that if you stick to it and you surround yourself with the right people, that you can reach and do anything that you want. You know what I mean? And that's my belief in what I truly realize now.
Alex Hermosi has something out, a video, and he's built himself from the ground up. But he said entrepreneurship isn't about the successes, it's about how many times you keep getting back up after you get knocked down.
Yep.
And it doesn't
Yep.
matter what your business is or what your market or your service or your product is. It's about entrepreneurship is about constantly getting back up. And the last man standing is the one that wins.
Yep. Yep. And that's why I love this show. I love what you're doing because this is a space where entrepreneurs can come and hear the truth, right? Because most people don't tell you the valleys. They just tell you when they made it and they show you the good things, but they don't show you or talk about the things that you know are bad, or what they call
Or
bad.
just the journey, I mean, it's called Uncommon Wealth because I don't feel like that there is a cookie cutter approach to building wealth. It's not about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. It's not about your 401k. I mean, can you build wealth that way? Yes, but I think the vast majority of entrepreneurs and business owners do it completely different than that. In fact, most business owners who own a company view their company as their retirement plan, and they keep refunneling every available dollar back into the company. And then you got other business owners that try to build wealth separately apart from the business. While it's making money, they're taking money out and diversifying. What are your thoughts about that? How do you think about that yourself?
I think okay, well, I was the one that was funding money into my business or taking
Back.
money
Every
out.
dollar was going back in.
It was going back. It was
Yeah.
and that became a struggle if you're married because you know because the wife they want you to funnel that money somewhere else, but at the beginning you're so passionate about what you're doing, right? And you believe in it so much, and you have to use that money to scale, right? And I think it'll at the beginning you do that, right? But eventually that company grows to a point where you can now profit and live off that company. But at the beginning it's tough because you have to do that, you know? You have to do that. And then it gets to a point where you can now live off the company and the company is profitable and you pay yourself. And that's one of the things I had to learn too. I had to pay myself first because eventually you'll put everything into your company and then you neglect your family and start neglecting everybody else and not paying everything else because this is your baby, right? And you want to see it grow and you want to help everybody, and eventually you just got to get to a point where it's a balance where you got to make
Yeah.
sure everything is your home is taken care of, the business is taken care of. But at the beginning, yeah, you're going to do a lot of that.
And do you know when it's the right time? Is it a feeling? Is it a landmark in age? Like, how do you know when it's the right time to stop redirecting every dollar back in and start taking some of it out to build your net worth apart from the business?
I think it's when there I mean, you have certain goals that you meet, financial goals. And I think when those goals are met, then you can start profiting. Once the company starts profiting to a point where you can do that, I think that's when you do that.
What's one thing, Manoah, you've put in place to protect what you've built or what you're building, both personally and or professionally?
Well, any business legally, you have to make sure it's structured right to protect it. I had
Mm-hmm.
a friend when I grew up, he told me about three P's: profit, protection, and party. If you keep it in that order, you'll be good. But if the partying is before the profit, then you're gonna have a problem. But the goal is to profit, then protect it, right? And that's a legal structure with your business model, how you set that up, and all the compliances that you have to go through. But once that's set up, then you grow it and you scale it and you bring on the right people. And I believe when you bring on the right people and you build that culture in your business, then you can get to a point where you can step away from your business and it grows for you. And now you're just overseeing the business. And that's where I'm at right now. In the next 4 years, my goal is to just really pull back and build a culture of people right now with the vision who can continue the business.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you next. What if someone stepped in today and offered you an 8 or 9 figure exit for Trade Secrets Academy, right?
Well, I've had a couple of offers, but I'm man, it's
What are you waiting for? Like, what has to be in place for you to feel ready to walk away?
man, it's just me. It's just being willing to let go of something that you've built, and it's like a part of you. It's like cutting your arm off.
Mm.
So it's really, really uh
So it's not about the money for
no,
you.
it's not about the money. It's about the families. It's about the are they gonna be able to do it right? Which they will if you train them right. But also it's just about the ability to do something every day. Because you can have a lot of money, but if you're getting up every day, just it's about find find another purpose. I think going golfing with you might help.
Yeah, it always helps. But to that point, how do you think about, managing or creating your liquidity or your flexibility so that if that person steps in and makes an offer, you can move on to that next chapter of your life without feeling locked into the business.
Um, mm, I think it's just more me, maybe putting myself in a position, maybe I'm on a board or something, still being a part of it,
So still have influence.
yeah, still have an influence.
Got
Yes.
you.
Even if it's not on a day to day, but maybe monthly, coming in, checking on, seeing how everything's going, just making sure everything is going to run right. Because I believe in selling, which is that's the exit plan of any business. Eventually, you wanna sell. It's just making sure I can still have some type of authority and control in that process
So that
after.
your vision for Trade Secrets Academy and the lives that you're changing still continues to move down that path where it's not just a financial transaction. There's a legacy. That's the legacy that you're leaving.
Yes, a legacy. Yes, yes.
Got you. So the wealthy in the United States have used permanent life insurance as a financial tool for decades. And you know I'm a life insurance guy. What have you done using life insurance to either help create your legacy, reduce your income taxes, maybe create some tax-free benefits for you? What have you done up to this
Well,
point to set that up?
actually, that's new to me with you, and that's why I want to get with you because I just pretty much got the life insurance policy for a couple of million, and
The term
when I'm
insurance.
yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
and when you know, I'm thinking that when I pass away, that'll happen. So I'm still being educated even
Okay.
on the life insurance side because I know when we sat down a while ago and you explained to me what you were doing and you just opened my eyes to using insurance in a whole nother way. Like most people believe you just get insurance and you use it for those who use it when you die. But you were showing a way that you can leverage that and generate income even while you're alive. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and it creates that diversification. It creates that ability to build wealth outside the business. You can still use the business valuation to help you create that leverage. So yeah, we'll talk about that offline for sure. I'm glad you brought that up. So Manoah, looking ahead for yourself to the next 10 to 20 years, and you're a couple years older than me, but not by much. Um, how are you thinking about the next 10, 20 years from the business perspective, from your personal perspective, and financially as well?
Well, I really want to retire in the next 4 years. I want to retire pretty
What are
much
you
so
gonna
long.
do when you're retired? There's only so much golf we can play.
Well, me and my wife, we're going to go travel the world. So
Mm.
we're going to go do some things that she wanted to do and go visit some countries that I wanted to visit. Pretty much purchase some real estate in other areas around the world that I want to do. And just maybe move to Mexico, man, and go down there and buy me a mansion for 100,000 and and have be a maid and a cook, So it's just, man, I think the first 50 years of my life I've worked, struggled, become successful. Now it's to the point where I just want to relax and you know, kick
I
back.
love that. Make sure one of those places is near a golf course so when I come visit you, we don't have to go far. So, your grandkids are listening to this podcast 25 years from now. What's one lesson or one thought you want them to take away about your approach to wealth and legacy?
Don't spend all my money. No, no, you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, and you surround yourself with the right people. You can accomplish anything you want, you know. You're gonna be criticized, so know that. People are not gonna believe in you, so know that. And then once you win, everybody's gonna believe in you and everybody's gonna think you're great. Trust God through the whole process. Know that He's guiding your steps even in the bad times, and know that you can accomplish everything you want if you help a lot of people accomplish what they want.
Man, that's so good. What's a blind spot Manoah, you think most successful business owners overlook when it comes to protecting their wealth?
One big blind spot is accounting. I think especially at the
Hmm.
beginning, you
Hmm.
know,
That
you
bookkeeping.
know, that book
It's real.
that bookkeeping is real. I
Yeah.
think that is something that you have to do at the beginning. It'll save you so much trouble in the long run and headaches because keeping track of every dollar that comes in is one of the major things, and separating that from your personal life. Because at the beginning, you start mixing money, business money, personal money, trying to make it. I think starting out with a good accounting system and having trustworthy people around you and you giving them the ability to build and work with you, I
Yeah.
think that's one of the major reasons.
Yeah. Surround yourself with experts and let them do their expert stuff, right? Stay out of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of my favorite questions to wrap up with, and then we're going to do a quick lightning round where I ask you a couple questions and you answer real quick. But one of my favorite wrap up questions is, what's something you know now about business or wealth that you wish you would have understood 10 years ago?
Money. I wish I would have understood how to leverage and get lines from the bank.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wish
good.
I would have learned how to build my business credit
Mm.
and use other people's money to build my business. I think knowing how to get capital to start your business is one of the major things you can learn in business. And I think if I would have learned that earlier, it would have saved me a lot of trouble as well.
There's leverage, there's power in using other people's money, right? And when you do it the right way, across society, we're kind of taught that debt is bad. And a lot of successful business owners bring that mindset into their business. And absolutely, like credit card debt and things like that, consumer debt, that can be viewed as bad.
Yes.
But when you bring debt leveraged against an asset or an income stream, that's not bad. That's
Oh,
horsepower.
yes.
That's that's like a multiplier, a force multiplier for businesses. And you're right. I wish more entrepreneurs understood that, Dave Ramsey's "debt is bad" is not a true statement.
No, no.
It's true for certain class of people, but for the entrepreneurs and business owners, debt is it's a multiplier, right? It's leverage, it's horsepower for your business. That's so good. I agree. I wish I'd have known that sooner as well. The coulda, shoulda, wouldas in life, like you said, but I wish I would have known that one sooner. Okay, let's do a quick lightning round.
Okay.
One book that's changed how you view business or wealth.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm. You know, I've done a couple of these podcasts now, and I think the common theme amongst most entrepreneurs is Rich Dad Poor Dad, especially with the real estate background that you've got. Um,
Yes.
Best investment you made, money or otherwise.
Bitcoin when it first
Ooh,
started.
you told me in 2000 in was it 2019, 2020, you told me to buy Bitcoin when it was, what, at the time it was underneath $10,000 a coin, something like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
And I did. And I'm forever grateful to you for telling me to do that. Unfortunately, I sold more than I should have sold along the way, but Manoah knows what's going on when it comes to that, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and those different altcoins. He definitely, the cryptocurrency, he knows what's up when it comes to that.
Man,
What's
I
a
just
daily
got a
habit
e
that Go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead.
I
You
was
just got
just
to
saying, I just got an email from a lady and she invested $50 like I told her to back in the day. And she said, "Thank you so much." And I said, "Well, how much is it now?" She said, "It's $10,000 now in her account." And she
Wow.
invested $50. So I'm
Wow.
excited about that.
Yeah, that's another bit of your legacy that you're leaving people. Last one. What's a daily habit that keeps you grounded or focused?
Prayer. I think prayer is my daily habit. I get up every morning, I pray, and then I go work out. But prayer keeps me grounded, man. It keeps me peaceful. It keeps me relying on a higher power, and not just focused on around me. That I have to get accountability to somebody higher than me. A lot of times, as business owners, we don't have anybody higher than ourselves, so we can get in ego and pride a lot. But I think
At
prayer
least
keeps
until
me
we
grounded.
come home. At least until we come home.
Yes, and we bam. At least till we come home, and then we got the real boss.
But yeah, prayer is essential.
Yes, yes.
Mo, your blend of mindset, strategy, financial education is exactly what I was hoping you'd provide for the listeners, man. I really appreciate you sharing your journey. And dude, you've built it and lost it and built it again. And man, that perseverance is the true blueprint, I think, for entrepreneurship. I really think this conversation is going to stick with our listeners, and I do want to get with you offline and let's talk about that insurance conversation and keep this dialogue going. And so hopefully I'm still doing this in 3 or 4 years and I get you back on and that exit has taken place and you can tell us about the different properties you bought around the world.
Next time I'll be sitting on a beach with my feet up somewhere.
You have to. Yeah, you have to do it from the beach. That'll be the place that we do it from.
Man, let's make it happen, brother. Thank you
All
again for
right,
having me
dude.
on, Jeremy.
Thanks, Dr. Manoah McClendon. I appreciate you being on.